Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is George Herrera with the Queens Home team at Keller Williams Realty. In today's video, I'm covering 10 ways to prep your home for sale, and specifically related to properties here in Queens. So I actually found this blog post, which was posted by a national media outlet. So it's a general 10 ways to prep your home for sale blog post. So not everything is directly related to Queens. So I wanted to go through the 10 and then address them in particular for properties here in Queens. So here we go. Number one, they say improve your landscaping. So here in Queens, depending on where you are, it's a very dense borough. There are areas where you have a detached house with nice landscaping, or you have a large front yard. And in those situations, definitely you want to improve your landscaping. So focus on landscaping if it's one of those properties. But for many of the properties that we sell, they could be attached homes, semi-detached homes. The front yard is actually not that big. Sometimes it could be 10 feet, 15 feet is all you have of a front yard. So there might not be that much that you can do. So in terms of landscaping, if you have a paved front yard, there's not much you can do there, but you can always just put some pots, nice green, some greenery always helps. So any kind of greenery in the front of the house, whether you have a big yard or not, always is nice and appealing when you sell. And things like boxwoods and evergreens, those do really well because they stay green all year round. So that's number one. Next, number two, clean the outside. So clean the outside, that goes without saying, I think, everywhere. And here in Queens, you could have properties where it could get dirty around the outside of your home. So from trash, from debris, from things left out by other people, pedestrians, people walking by. So definitely you want to make sure that you maintain or just have that the front of your home looking nice and clean. So clean the outside for sure. Definitely for the photos, you want to make sure it's very clean. And if you have open houses or showings, you know, tidying up around the front is always good because it's the first impression of your home. So you want to make sure that when people come in, it looks nice and clean, and you don't want it to look all dirty and disheveled there. So number three is make repairs. Repairs, we do always suggest, if it's any major component, if something is not working in the home, we always suggest make the repair because most likely it'll come up on inspection. If you can do it, that does help. That way you know everything is in working order and you don't have to worry about any of those issues coming up during inspection. Not everyone does it, but you know, one of the best ways to prep your home for sale is, make sure that all of the major components are in working order. And if something isn't, you know, to repair them, that's always a nice touch. Number four is make the front door inviting. So this is not so relevant to Queens, really. Front doors are not a huge feature here. People buy properties with just standard front doors. Even my wife and I, we have our same front door from when the house was built. So it's not something we ever hear buyers talk about, a front door, and we never really we don't see that many upgraded front doors, super modern. So that might be more in like the suburbs, other parts of the country, but making the front door inviting, not as relevant here in Queens, in my opinion. Number five is buy a new welcome mat. So this one, maybe in other parts of the country. Here in Queens, welcome mat, you don't have to really do that. We've never heard any buyer actually mention something about a welcome mat. So that one I would strike out also. Like I said, even in the first one, improve your landscaping, that is not so related to Queens. You know, there's not big yards, but you can always do something to just make the front of your home look nice. And, you know, even just tidying up, even just adding some pots with some plants, and you could give it a nice little pop, make it look a little cute, you know. So that one is you could work with. But make the front door inviting, not so big here in Queens. Buying a new welcome mat, that's not big here in Queens. The next one is remove clutter and depersonalize. This is across the board, no matter where you are. all over the world, I'm sure if you sell a property, it helps to declutter and depersonalize. So declutter goes without saying. It's pretty much you just want the property to show as large as possible. And if you do have furniture, you want it placed strategically so that it shows the use of the room, but you don't want too many things that begin to crowd a room, or you don't want so many pieces of furniture where it's hard for people to really get a feel for the space of the room. So it always helps. Minimalistic design or minimalistic kind of staging for your furniture is a good way to go, because it shows the use of the room but also showcases the space. So definitely decluttering, always good, especially if you have a lot of small items all around. Getting rid of all the loose small items and just leaving the major pieces, that always helps. Depersonalize, of course, depersonalizing, because when people come in, they want to feel like they can see themselves living there. And if you have your whole family all over the walls and portraits of yourselves and family photos, family albums everywhere, it can feel like you're in someone else's house. It can be a little harder for a potential buyer to envision themselves seeing there, because you see so much of the owner's personal contents. So definitely depersonalizing is good. Now, the next one is organizing closets and drawers. This is one that I think also I just strike out. For queens, it's not really something that makes a difference. You can obviously do it, organize your closets, drawers, if you want to. No buyer is looking through drawers. Closets, if you want to upgrade your closet, you can put a California closet, or use the Container Store, stuff like that, where it makes the closet look actually appealing and more attractive. That can be a selling point. But actually organizing the closets, I mean, people aren't really spending a lot of time looking at closets. Here in Queens, they'll open it up just to see the space. So that's the main thing. People like to see the size of the closets. So that one, not as relevant for Queens. The next one, make every surface shine. So here, this I think just pretty much is suggesting cleaning. And we do suggest this. This is actually great. Always doing, before you take photos and start showing, a deep cleaning. It's really great when you sell a property, you do a deep cleaning, and then when people come in, you can always tell when you go into a clean house. And it definitely helps for a property to show better, and it definitely helps buyers connect more with the property. Versus if a property is not clean, many times the buyers can just be stuck on that, and that's what they most of their feedback or comments are focused on is the, if it's dirty or if it's not clean. Then you might hear that more so than anything. So it always helps if you can afford it, if you can do it. A nice deep cleaning will always help for a property to show better. Now the other one of prepping your home for sale is taking color down a notch. This is a good one too. If you have any real vibrant colors, non-neutral, it is good to bring them down. So we've sold properties, and we've actually tested this, because we've sold properties where there was a bright yellow walls or bright pink. It could be a bright, baby blue, something that's just really eye-popping, and then we wouldn't be getting showings, no offers. And we've actually had on occasion where we said, let's do a fresh coat of neutral paint and let's see if that helps. And then we go fresh coat of neutral paint, and we've actually gotten it sold. So definitely, if you can do it, we have good painters that we work with. If you need a suggestion for a good painter, fresh coat of paint always helps, especially if your walls anywhere aren't neutral. If you have like really bold colors somewhere, those can be a little bit off-putting, and it can affect the way the property shows. So definitely taking color down a notch. Neutral, soft neutral colors. We have two colors that we always suggest for anyone who's prepping a home for sale that's painting. So if you want to get our suggestion for those two colors, you can send us an email to info@queenshometeam.com, and we can send you those two color codes. So the other one now, the last one, number 10, is eliminate bad odors. This one, should go without saying, but I think if you live in a property and there is bad odors, you can get used to it and you might not actually notice it. So for this one, I think if you're thinking of selling your home, it doesn't hurt to ask a friend, a neighbor, a family member, hey, does my house smell bad? You know, is there any bad odors in my property? And get someone who's going to be honest with you, because if there are bad odors, you should definitely do whatever you can to eliminate them. It's one of those things that if a buyer comes into a house and there are really strong odors, really pungent smells, you know, and if it's really strong, the buyer won't be able to see past it, and that's all they'll focus their comments on. So if you want them to actually see the property, appreciate the property for all of its unique selling points, you don't want them distracted by a bad odor. So if you're thinking of selling, if you have pets especially, because usually when we go into houses that have really strong smells, sometimes it's due to the pets. So ask a neighbor, a friend, a family member, someone who will be honest with you. Ask them, does my house smell bad? Is there any bad odors? And if they say yes, then I would definitely look into getting that addressed, because you don't want that to be a deterrent for your home. And as crazy as it sounds, some buyers will just not be able to look past it if a property smells, if it has like bad odors. So that's number 10. And that one I would say it goes across the board too. Queens, New York, all over the country probably. So those are 10 ways to prep your home for sale with some specific comments for Queens properties. Hopefully that helps you. If you have any other questions related to prepping your home for sale, or if you need any recommendations to people who can help you with any of these items, then feel free to reach out to us. We have great people that we can recommend. If you have any topics that you'd like us to cover on the channel, feel free to drop them in the comments below, or you can always send us an email to info@queenshometeam.com. Thanks as always for tuning in, y'all. Stay tuned for the next episode. Take care and have a great day.